This is the first of a number of lessons on financial mathematics. The first thing we're going to look at is simple and compound interest and a quick recap of what you did in grade 10. Remember, with simple interest, you work out the percentage of interest earned on your initial investment, and that amount of interest does not change from one year to the next. With compound interest, every year you are going to get interest on your interest. So at every stage, at the beginning of every year, you're considering it as though you're investing a slightly larger amount of money. Right, let's just do two very simple examples on simple interest and then two on compound interest. In this particular case, Tina borrowed. That means that's what happens now. Your present value, which we use the letter P to represent. The agreement was that Tina would repay this money at the end of a period of 3 years. Your time period is N. And then the interest rate that is earned, okay, in this particular case, is 5% simple interest. Interest, we use the letter I to represent. And the question in this case is, how much will she need to pay back? In other words, what is the future value of her loan going to be? Now, the core math syllabus uses A is equal to P1 plus IN. The AP syllabus uses F. The two letters are interchangeable. Either means the total amount of money you will have at the end of your time period. So in this particular case, we're trying to find F. The initial size of her loan in this case is 12,000. Simple interest, so it's 1 plus IN. I is 5%, 5 over 100, 0,05, for a period of 3 years. So we take our 12,000, multiply by 1 plus 0.05 times 3, and our answer is 13,800 Rand. Another example with simple interest. How long will it take for an initial investment of 550 to grow to 3,000 Rand? So in this case, your future value is 3,000. Your initial value or your present value is 550. We're still talking simple interest, so 1 plus IN. 1 plus 26% is 0,26. And the question in this case is for how long? In other words, we are now solving that simple linear equation for N. I'm going to divide both sides by that 550, so 3,000 divided by 550 is going to give me 60 over 11 is equal to 1 plus 0,26n. Subtract 1 from both sides, so 49 over 11 is going to equal 0,26n. Divide both sides by 0.26, and my answer becomes 17,13. Now, in this particular case, we want a whole number of years, so your interest is not actually going to be exactly 3,000 Rand. You're going to actually have to leave that money there for 18 years, really, if you want to land up with 3,000 Rand in your account. Okay, now the two compound interest questions. Compound interest, your future value or the total amount that you have in your account at the end, your present value, your interest rate, and your number of time periods, the time period for the investment. In this particular case, again, we're being asked for the future value. How much does he owe after 2 years? The initial or the present value, 4,000. We're talking about compound interest, 1 plus your interest rate, which in this case is 7%, 0.07, to the power of 2, because we're looking at a 2-year period. When we calculate that, we have 4,000 Rand, 1 plus 0.07 raised to the power of 2, and we have 4,579 Rand and 60 cents. In this case, Fiona wants to invest some money. The bank offers her 11% compounded. That's very important. How much should she invest if she wants to accumulate 100,000 Rand in 5 years' time? In other words, our future value is 100,000. We want to know the present value. How much must she invest now? We're talking compound interest, so it's 1 plus your interest, 0.11, 11%, for a period of 5 years. So the algebra you're going to do here, you want to isolate your P. You have 100,000 divided by 1.11 to the power of 5, and that's our present value. So our 100,000 Rand divided by 1.11 to the power of 5. And so our present value has got to be 59,345 Rand. I shouldn't have written a comma there. And 13 cents.